All right, let's do 7 off-season winners. I've also recorded a 7 off-season losers video, which is going to either already out or will be out in a couple hours, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we know how this works. 7 winners. Just to clarify exactly my thought process here, though, what I am not doing is just saying the 7 teams that got better the most, because the comparison I made in my other video is if you had $100 million to spend in free agency and you spent all of it on a punter, well, okay, yes, you technically got better, but that would still be a bad move, so I would put you in the losers category, right? So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. Who used their resources the best this offseason so far, which plenty of offseason left. But yeah, let's just jump into it, starting off with number 7. I'm going with the Bucks, number 7. They just make the list. I was kind of back and forth. Considered the Saints for a second, but I thought Bucks feels right. They were able to re-sign, the guys they needed to re-sign, let Carlton Davis go. But other than that, tagged Antoine Winfield. They signed Baker to, I think, a pretty reasonable deal given the way quarterback contracts tend to go. Re-signed Mike Evans to, again, I think a solid deal. Levante David getting a deal up to $10 million, not even $10 million straight up, which is, I think, a great move. And then adding some corner depth, which is really a weakness, especially losing Carlton Davis, Bryce Hall, Tavier Thomas, 2 good corners. And even re-signing Chase McLaughlin, who had a great year at kicker. A lot of good moves. Didn't love the Carlton Davis move at all, so that's kind of why they're at the end of the list, and you could even argue they should be knocked off the list, but I think the rest of what they did was good, and I can't remember if I mentioned it, but adding Jordan Whitehead, good move as well. So yeah, they're on the list at number 7. Number 6 is a bit of a hot take, and this is one that I am, sticking with the NFC South. I like what the Panthers have done. I do. I think that while I was a little bit colder on it last time I did a podcast and talked about them, because that was before the Deontay Johnson trade, which I thought was just kind of a steal, really, getting Deontay Johnson in a position of massive weakness to help out Bryce Young. They've added offensive line help, which again, kind of said, go out, do what you can to help out the offensive line. That's what they've done. They've gotten rid of Brian Burns, which is the kind of biggest question mark with them. But honestly, Burns, $30 million a year, and that's just not a move they should have. They should not have given out that contract. They made the absolute right call. Not paying that money, helping out your offense instead of your defense there, and getting some draft capital as well. Now, many people would say, yeah, but shouldn't they have taken 2 first-round picks earlier? Yes, but that was different front office. The different people said no to that deal, then made this deal. It is what it is. You can't control the past. All you can do is go from here. I like the Panthers have done. They're a winner for me so far. Number 5 is another one that is a potential, I don't know if this is a scorching hot take or what, but this is a hot take for sure. As, listen, a couple of moves I just think are straight up good moves. I'm interested in, Jonathan Grenard should be good for them. I think that, Blake Cashman is a kind of a real underrated player. So a couple solid moves there. Even the Aaron Jones one I'm interested in. And even Sam Darnold isn't a bad backup contract, although I guess right now he's listed as a starter probably. Here's why I kind of like what the Vikings have done is they didn't pay Kirk Cousins. And say what you want about it, they're better off without Kirk Cousins at this point. They just are. Let them do a rebuild. I think that's a smart strategy. It sucks if you're a fan. You want to see them trying to make the playoffs, but you know what? You'd rather see them be able to make the playoffs and be a legit contender instead of a one-and-done team, which is kind of what you get stuck with a Kirk Cousins-type contract. So that's the main thing, the main reason I think I'm a fan of them. So yeah, put them as number 5 here. Number 4 is the Detroit Lions, who, sticking with the NFC North, and the NFC North, 3 out of 4 NFC North teams made this list, and the Packers were on the short list of teams that just missed it. But yeah, the Lions, who I think did a lot of really smart things. The 2 key ones would be adding Carlton Davis is the move I really like. I think that was really smart. And then the adding DJ Reader, another move I think will really help out their defense, which desperately needed help. And they're getting some depth there. Amik Robinson, I don't know what he's going to bring, but he's an option. Emmanuel Mosley re-signing him, sure, maybe he'll stay healthy this year, and he's an option, right? They have weaknesses. They're not being stupid. They're completely addressing their weaknesses, which is the smart thing to do. So, yeah, they're number 4 on this list. Number 3, the Chiefs, who I didn't love their offseason last year, and for a while that take looked good until they won the Super Bowl. This year, I think they've done a lot of really smart things. The Chiefs are kind of the team that it feels like everyone just gives them credit, like, for whatever now, just because, like, we'll defend any move they make because they're the Chiefs. But I think this year it's justified. I think that what they've done is very good. The Marquise Brown move is a great one for only $11 million for 1 year. That's I mean, it makes sense, right? Brown saying, hey, let me go to a good offense. I can hopefully have a chance to win a Super Bowl, but also bump up my stock and maybe get a big contract next year, like we saw with Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that's good. I like Irv Smith too as like a backup option. Backup tight end option is interesting. And the key one as well is keeping Chris Jones. And listen, they paid him a lot of money. No denying that. But at the same time, like, there's no denying how much he means to the roster as well and means to that defense. One of the best defensive players in football. And L'Jarius Sneed, as of right now, is franchise tagged. Listen, they might trade him. I wouldn't. I would keep him. I would pay him. That's how I would make it work. But if they do trade him, you'll get capital back for it. So, yeah, a lot of interesting moves by the Chiefs. They're a winner for me. Number 2 is the Jets, who could become big losers if Aaron Rodgers does, in fact, become vice president, and now they're out of a quarterback situation. But assuming that does not happen, I think they've done a good job at, again, addressing the offensive line, which was their biggest issue, and kind of making sure they don't go into this draft needing something. I would still like to see them get a receiver. I would. But Morgan Moses, once they did that, I'm like, oh, okay, good move. Yeah, they traded for him, but it wasn't a lot. They more or less just gave up. It was a 4th-round swap, and then they gave up a 6th-rounder as well. So, more or less got him for peanuts, who I think is a good player. Kind of surprised the Ravens did that. They have depth, so I get it, but still. And then the Tyron Smith, 1 year, $20 million, deal worth up to $20 million. So there's incentives, which I'm assuming is playtime based. Sure, he'll get banged up, but it almost felt like they would have been okay at tackle before that. They could probably use a guy, so I like it. But going out and getting a potential elite tackle to help out Aaron Rodgers, that's a huge move. I mean, when you have a weakness and you get a superstar level player there for not a ton of money, yeah, that's going to make you a winner. All the other moves are fine, but that's the key. And even adding Tyrod Taylor, getting an actual backup there. Maybe you don't have to give him, $18 million for 2 years. But again, that's up to $18 million, not 18 straight. So, yeah, I like what the Jets have done. They're number 2 on this list. But number 1, okay, also got to jump in here. After I recorded that video and was ready to post it, turned out that Mike Williams got added to the Jets as well. So disregard me talking about them not having a receiver. That's obviously a big move. Good job by them. So really good stuff by the Jets. The Chicago Bears, which the one thing I didn't love is only getting a 6th-round pick for Fields. I think at that point I'd probably just keep him. Get like a quality backup, and hey, who knows, if Caleb Williams goes down, maybe he has a good season and now you have 2 good quarterbacks or something. But didn't love that, but at the same time, I get it. Maybe they just want to get rid of the quarterback controversy altogether and let Caleb Williams be the guy. I just, again, understanding the situation you're in and being smart about it. Going out and trading for Keenan Allen, which, like, you could argue is getting paid a lot and, whatever. Only giving up a 4th-round pick to make sure that you can put Caleb Williams in a position to succeed right away is absolutely the smartest decision they could have done, and it's why they're here. Again, you could argue, DeAndre Swift versus some of the other running backs. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Like that's okay. They still went out and added a running back. They re-signed Jalen Johnson to a pretty reasonable deal, I thought, under $20 million for a guy of Johnson's caliber. Jerry Jeudy is making more than Jalen Johnson. That's crazy to me that you're in that situation. Kevin Byard, adding him is a good move as well. So helping out the defense, which definitely could use some help and played well towards the end of the year. Getting Williams in a good situation to succeed. Who knows if Caleb Williams is going to be a star? We never know. But, quarterbacks are weird, but they're doing everything they can to make him be in a good situation. So, yeah, they're number 1 on my list. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Who do you think should have been on the list that I left off? Always love hearing from you. Of course, as always, thanks for watching.